Morning. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for January 22nd, 2025. We'll begin with the salute to the flag, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Okay, thank you. We're going to begin with a couple of presentations. First, as always, with the second meeting of the month. We recognize those employees who have reached milestones in their service with the county. Now, obviously, we have employees, 2,400 of them, so they work different shifts, they work different kinds of jobs. If they're able to be here, we do obviously recognize them and call them up, and we have a token of our appreciation we give them. There's always a few who just can't make it here to this meeting, and unfortunately, of the four people we're recognizing today, none of them could actually make it to today's meeting. But we still want to recognize them publicly, and we'll make sure they get the gifts that we usually give them. Will be given to them. So, 20 years, and I'll ask we'll hold applause till the end. 20 years of service from the Sheriff's Department, Marta Dressel, and for Emergency Services 911, Michael Lasnoff. 30 years, Department of Corrections, Kieran Martin, and 40-year employee from the DA's office, Denise Pierce. So let's thank them for their service to the people of this county. Okay. Next, we have a presentation from the Peace Center. Danny Thomas is here to make a presentation.
Good morning, and thank you. Thank you, Bob, for the invitation, and thank you, commissioners, for your decades-long support of the Peace Center, because truly you are helping us make a difference at reducing conflict and providing social emotional wellness, not just for the students that we support, but for all of the citizens of Bucks County. So, yes, so thanks for the partnership, and if we could do that next slide, please. The tagline that we have is building peace one person, one school, one community at a time, because truly it's about the relationships that we develop closely with each other that have the greater impact. And especially in these times when we talk about polarization, it doesn't have to be, because we truly live next to these neighbors. And the neighbor in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue changes every 4 to 8 years. Our other neighbors do not move that often. So build those bridges. So we help build those bridges in 3 ways, and if we could go to the video, we have a video of what we do.
To the Peace Center, children are more than numbers and data. Since 2019, depression and anxiety symptoms have doubled in our children and adolescents. Suicide attempts among teenage girls are up by 50% and 4% for boys. Globally, our youth are crying out for help. Sexual harassment, bullying, and violence is soaring among students across our nation. 8 out of 10 students experience some form of sexual harassment during their school lives. Beginning in elementary school, 33% of students in the United States alone are bullied, whether in person or online. Physical appearance, race and ethnicity, gender, and disabilities are the top reasons for children to be bullied. And it doesn't stop in middle school. Bullying happens at every age. Continuing into adulthood, 30% of adult Americans are bullied in the workplace, affecting 60.3 million people. Over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, more children have been exposed to risk factors that could contribute to violence and mental health issues. These factors increase the chance of self-harm. From August 2019 to August 2020, self-harm among ages 13 through 18 increased by 333% in the Northeast of the United States. The American Academy of Pediatrics has declared that children's mental health is now a national emergency. The Peace Center's mission is to help tackle this global crisis and give our youth the justice and peace they deserve. We educate, empower, and enrich, supporting individuals to create a safe and equitable community for everyone. The Peace Center offers a variety of programs to give students the tools to build empathy and become strong individuals. STAR is our bullying prevention program, which teaches students in 2nd through 4th grade how to express emotions and build empathy and responsibility towards a safe classroom and school. In Celebrating Me, Celebrating You, we teach 4th and 5th grade students how to celebrate diversity, challenge stereotypes and prejudice, and engage in respectful dialogue around differences, helping them to be compassionate members of a diverse community. Our Boy Meets Self program provides tools necessary for tween and teen boys to grow into respectful, empowering, balanced men. Girls Unlimited is an interactive program to decrease aggression between middle school girls by teaching peaceful conflict resolution, building empathy and self-esteem, and providing girls with the tools needed to stand up for themselves and others. We developed our Thrive program to provide high school students with the tools, strategies, and life skills needed to enter the next stage of their lives, whether that be college or employment. These tools include decision-making skills, building healthy relationships, diversity appreciation, and managing strong emotions. These programs and so many more are meant to make our community stronger and more equitable. At the Peace Center, we aim to create a safe space for children and adults of all ages to learn about self-respect and respecting others. We can be the change our youth, our community, and our world needs. To the Peace Center, children are more than numbers and data. Together, we can change the world.
So thank you. That's just one of the things that we do, and it's a big thing because together we can change the world, and it's not just about our youth, it's about all of us. So we also have adult programming. Feel free to scan the QR code. It will take you to our website, and you can click on programs, or you can see me because there are some of us who still have to have things in our hand, that piece of paper, and it lists our programs. So one of the things I do want to highlight, the commissioners' undying support, they helped us launch the Bullying Prevention Resource Center. So that is still going on, and we are this year looking at reaching back out to you all for more support, because bullying doesn't take a break. But together we can change the world. So thank you all for the support, and check out the Peace Center, and hopefully you don't need us, but know that we're there if you do. So thanks, and I want to thank my board member, Connie Keener, who came out to, she has my back, so the board's really into this as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Say that? Say comments,
Just a quick thing I wanted to say. Thank you for your work. And I can't remember the year, but I do know when we started the Bullying Center, geez, it's been a long time. It was when Judge Heckler was the president judge. And not sure who the district attorney was, but Commissioner Martin and Lockery were here. So it just goes to show that it's bipartisan over the years, and I appreciate all the work you've done.
Yeah, thank you. Sure. Did you draw long? Okay.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate all the work. And just not to highlight the necessity of this in a very unfortunate way, but the commissioners were informed this morning of an elementary school child in Bucks County who completed suicide today. So the work is necessary. We wish it weren't, but it is. And so we thank you for doing that work. And just a reminder for everybody, 988, is a number you can call, suicide hotline that's available for people. So we try to do as much as we can to make that known and publicize that and offer whatever help we can. So thank you, Mr. Thomas, and thank you to all the members of the Board of Directors of the Peace Center for all your work. So we will move into public comment. Sorry, my computer went to sleep. Let's see. Okay, first I'm going to list Michael Fody. Is it Fody?
Hi, I'm Mike Fody from Buckingham Township. You probably all remember me from 60 days ago when I was very angry, very angry about you guys counting illegal votes. But I came here today to tell you that we need a different tone. I watched your apology video, Diane, and I accept your apology. I forgive you, and you also, Robert, who voted with her. And I think there's got to be a lot more forgiveness in this country. I will tell you that it's a lot easier to forgive when you've been forgiven. And if you'll permit me, I'm going to camp on that topic. And by the way, thank you for letting me exercise my First Amendment right of free speech. 41 years ago, I was a 19-year-old college student at Rider University when I finally decided to listen to my amazing wife, girlfriend then, who kept telling me about this love of Jesus thing. She invites me to a movie called The Prodigal. On the way out, man, I knew I was a sinner in need of a Savior. Put my faith in Jesus Christ. I realized that he loved me so much that when he died on the cross, he took the punishment for all my sins. But I dug a little deeper, started reading the Bible, and I found this verse, 2 Corinthians 5:21, profound. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. It hit me. When Jesus hung on the cross, he became our sin, our anger, our lack of forgiveness, our infidelity, our pornography, our murders. And then he punished all our sin on his son so that we would not have to be punished. He took it in our place. Then Jesus gave us his righteousness, his perfection. It was the greatest exchange in world history. He took all our punishment and gave us his righteousness, and it's on that basis God offers everyone listening today forgiveness. Now, you don't have to let Jesus take your punishment. You have the right. God gave you free choice. You can pay for your own sins, but that's in eternity in a place called hell, and God loves us too much to send us there. He gave us the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world, and you could be washed by the blood of the Lamb. Now, I'll tell you this. You know the rest of the story. In closing, Jesus died, was buried 3 days, and rose. He appeared to 500 witnesses and is alive today, showing us he conquered death. Now, when you receive the forgiveness of Christ, he doesn't stop there. He gives you a new heart. He heals your life. Let me ask you a question. Anybody listening out there, is your family in turmoil? Jesus is the Prince of Peace. Are you struggling with addictions? He's the great physician. Is your life in the darkest place it's ever been? Well, he's the light of the world. 152,000 people are going to die tomorrow. What do they have in common with us? None of us thinks it's us. You can receive Jesus Christ now. Tell him, I'm a sinner. I believe you died on the cross for me, and he will forgive you. He will heal your life. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Fran Holler.
Hard to follow that. Fran Haller, Right for Bucks. I'd like to make a suggestion. For the live stream viewing, could you please have a split screen so that viewers can see your reaction to public comment? At the January 8th meeting, when Beth Curcio was commenting, Commissioner DiGirolamo was the only one listening. Commissioner Harvey, you were too busy whispering and chuckling to Commissioner Marsaglia. Yes, Ms. Curcio was excoriating you for wasteful spending, but let me remind you, as our elected officials, it is your job to be good stewards of our tax dollars. And we're frustrated because we work, we pay taxes, we raise our families, and now we have another job, making sure our local elected officials are making good use of our hard-earned dollars, and also playing policeman to make sure these same elected officials are not scheming to break the law to benefit their own political party, as you two did on November 14th, 2024. I thought your behavior on January 8th was reprehensible, and I say shame on you. And perhaps a split screen would ensure that at least you appear to listen to your tax-paying constituents.
Thank you. Fred Herron?
Thank you for the time. I just want to just comment on Danny Thomas. Back when I was in Bensalem, fortunately, throughout the county, you have neighbors that don't get along, Hatfield and McCoys. We referred a lot to the Peace Center, and I'm knock on wood, those complaints didn't return. So I'm not exactly sure what you did there, but you solved the problem, and I thank you for that. So, and I know this goes back a long time, as Commissioner Marseglia has said. I just wanted to come up, just give you a quick, every now and then I want to come up and just give you some information on some of the things going on in the Sheriff's Office. As we continue to expand our office and our footprint in the county, want to continue to do new incentives and new programs. But in 2024, well, in 2022, when I took office, I had reported, as you well know, we had about 7,800 outstanding warrants in the county. The numbers for 2024, in 2024, 3,729 warrants were issued by the Court of Common Pleas. We were able to dispose of, serve, purge 4,340 of those warrants. So yes, more warrants are being served than are coming in, but if you remember that original number of 7,800. Right now, as of this morning, we currently have outstanding in this county 6,626 warrants. So that number is coming down by 1,200. It took us 3 years to get there, but I as I've come over the last couple, as I come here over the last 3 years, and I know there's been some debate about adding more deputies, but I do have to thank you, and I know Mr. Boscola has helped out in getting funding and moving money here or there to help pay for that. So I wanted just to show you my appreciation for doing that as we're getting more criminals off the street in Bucks County. And we'll continue to do this as we're bringing more programs, more initiatives to the county. Yesterday, I was really energized by now Attorney General Dave Sunday. A few of us had the opportunity to go up and go to his inauguration, and he talked not just about fighting crime, but also about, as you know, I'm passionate about the mental health issues, the drug issues that we're facing. I know we're getting ready to launch a new program very shortly. So, and I think General Sunday, hit the nail on the head that we got to work together across the aisle. And I see that happening, and I really believe as he has taken office as the head law enforcement officer and prosecutor in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I'm really excited for what the future is going to bring for us here in law enforcement, being able to do the job that we were originally trained to do, but also work with the mental health and social service field because there are so many problems that we're facing going into 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert McLean?
Good morning. President Trump has just removed us from the Paris Climate Accord, the World Health Organization, and paused our support for the UN Relief and Work Agency and the UN Human Rights Council. Why would he do such a thing? Well, I can give you some reasons why we should get out of the United Nations. First, incompatibility of the U.S. and the UN systems of government. The U.S. system of government gives us basic rights that are given by God, or they don't give it, God gives it, and they cannot be overruled. Whereas in the UN, basic rights are granted by the UN government and can be canceled by law. No recognition of God. The world body lists rights it recognizes and then the power to abolish them by law. Secondly, the UN seeks to disarm American citizens and cancel the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. They have done that through the UN Arms Treaty, adopted by the UN in 2013 and signed by the US in 2013, but the Senate has yet to ratify it. Third, the UN is a lawless body. It violates Article 2 of its own charter. It says in Article 2 of the UN Charter, nothing contained in the present charter shall authorize the United Nations to intervene in matters which are essentially within the domestic jurisdiction of any state and nation. Examples of the UN violation of its own charter are condemning the U.S. Border Patrol for efforts to entry of illegal immigrants and targeting U.S. law that permits capital punishment. Number 4, every UN Secretary General has either been a communist or a socialist, all the way from Alger Hiss in 1945 to Boutros Boutros-Ghali in 1992 to Antonio Guterres. UN Charter Article 25 overrides the U.S. Constitution and American sovereignty. Article 25 states the members of the United Nations agree to accept and carry out the decisions of the UN Security Council in accordance with the present charter. The United Nations is not taking over the United States. What is occurring is that the United States is being delivered to the United Nations. This delivery must be stopped. I would suggest that we get out of the United Nations. Thank you very much.
Beth Curcio.
Last meeting, we were celebrating the great work the county employees are doing on child and human trafficking, and we all thank them and applaud them for their great work. What I don't applaud is the county commissioners following Agenda 2030 and the globalist agenda, which promotes the very thing they create, this horrific, demonic program. Open borders so the cartels can steal children and sell them. I can't even remember the huge number from the last administration's policies. Cartels are making billions by stealing children and selling them into our country to satisfy the demonic pedophiles' appetites. I think our country has become the number one in the world, sickening. Hopefully, since our new commander-in-chief has already shut down the borders, most of these children can be found and returned to their families. It will never make up for the pain and suffering they endured and the lives lost. Agenda after agenda, millions and millions of dollars go to mental health, addiction, crime, and so on. Yet you support everything that destroys our children and our society. Based on our ages, commissioners, I'm sure when you were growing up, things like DEI, gender ideology, sexualizing the children at a very, very early age in our schools and our libraries. I just can't imagine anyone exposing their innocent children to such behavior. You're taking part in dumbing down generations of children, and you wonder why we have so many with mental illness, and then they're just drugged with pharmaceuticals. In Bucks County, we have 2 rainbow rooms, and I think we have another one opening. I have seen you in videos enjoying an evening there with minor children in the room. Grown men with mental issues dressed as drag queens with more makeup than I carry in my inventory. They are gyrating and demonically dancing in front of these children. We see story hours all over these with these mentally ill men after the children. You wonder why they become mentally ill. Why does Bucks County promote sexualizing children? You can get to a drag show, Queens, but you can't hold town halls. We witness bad behavior, the constant lies, and breaking the law with no consequences. DEI needs to be removed from our county business, especially with the LLC. We are paying somewhere over $94,000 this year. It is racist and it causes hate and division. Someone getting any job because of their gender, color, or religion is racist. Our country was built on opportunity and merit-based. DEI helped Los Angeles burn to the grounds. These DEI hires are making astronomical salaries for horrible performance. The woman in charge making over $400,000, sickening. LA will become a 15-minute city now. It's all in the World Economic Forum plan, which you promote. Doylestown is marked to become a 15-minute city. So I ask Bucks.
Thank you. Rochelle Porto.
I would like to start out with a huge shout out to the Doylestown Democrats and the Bucks County Beacon Facebook fans and thank them for the compliment. Calling and labeling me an anti-communist is an honor. As an America First constitutional patriot, there's no higher title, and using social media to expose it is a fabulous idea. So fasten your seatbelts because I'm going to expose more of the globalist agenda today and in the future, along with my friends. I know we are all horrified by the Holocaust of World War II, but let's remember, communism has brutally murdered more people than the constitutional republic ever could. Let's review. Joseph Stalin is estimated to have killed between 6 to 20 million people in the Soviet Union from 1920 until his death in 1953. Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge were responsible for the deaths of approximately 1.5 to 2 million people, or 25% of the Cambodians, during this genocide from 1975 to 1979. Estimates of death during Lenin's Red Terror campaign from 1918 to 1921 range from 50,000 to 600,000, with some sources suggesting that the total could be over 1 million when considering the broader political repression during the Russian Civil War. Mao Zedong policies, particularly during the Great Leap Forward, are estimated to have caused the deaths of tens of millions of people, with some suggesting 45 million. To my new fans, the anti-communist John Birch Society was named for the American Air Force Captain John Birch, who was killed by Mao's Communist China 10 days after World War II ended. And the American government covered it up until Robert Welsh, the founder of the Birch Society, exposed it when his family gave them permission to use his name on the society. The Uniparty and the neocons who are in the deep state here in the United States have diligently worked at hiding these facts. But now, in the new golden age of the United States, sunlight will disinfect the darkness. I feel really sorry for those who lost their way, believe the revisionist historian Howard Zinn's America. I hope that maybe someday you'll come out to one of my programs that the Bucks County Beacon is promoting every month at Trey Fratelli, and maybe you'll become smarter every time you attend a meeting. On the agenda, C1, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture Farmland Preservation. County is responsible for 50% of the $2 million. Is this a public-private partnership between all levels of government and a nonprofit organization with a common goal of saving prime farmland? According to American Stewards of Liberty, the United States land currently owned by the government is 40%, and by 2050, the targeted goal is to own 50% of these acres. The environmentalists driving these goals want off limits to human use. This is what communists do. They control the means of production. Property rights are essential to protecting all other rights. If the government owns the land, they control the people. From the PA website today, 64,000 farms have been approved for easement purchases totaling 645,000 acres. I'll have.
Thank you. Connie? If you don't mind, just give your last name too when you speak.
Me?
Just provide your last name for us, if you don't mind.
Yes, Keener, Keener.
Okay,
That was
you.
my mistake.
That's all right.
I hit the button too soon. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you as well for the Peace Center, for the support that you've given us. Over the dozen years or so that I've been part of it, I have seen some incredible changes in children and things that I never would have thought was possible or were possible. So thank you for your support. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Those are all the names on the list. Question about the agriculture preservation. This is a project, a program that's existed for 30 years, something like that. Yeah, 35? 35, all right. Mr. Ives here for the Planning Commission oversees a lot of this. Since it's going to be our number one on our agenda anyway, Mr. Ives, would you mind just commenting a little bit about how this program works? It's a bond. It was a bond.
Well, thank you for having me here today. And just a clarification point is the farms that are preserved in the county are still privately owned. They're not owned by the,
You have to, if you don't mind, Mr. Ives, just raise it up, let the microphone, you can take it out if you want to, it's up to you.
just to say that again, the farms that are preserved in the county are still privately owned. We work with farm owners, property owners to preserve the farms through an agricultural conservation easement. They're not owned by the county. We are simply a co-grantee or a grantee on the easement, but they are still privately owned by, the local farmer that wanted to preserve it voluntarily. But regarding the new municipal participation program, it is a new initiative, which is great, and it is going into effect this year. The program was designed to complement our current existing county state ag preservation program that, as we mentioned, has been in action for the last 35 years. The program seeks to work with municipalities to preserve farmland within their borders through the purchasing of agricultural conservation easements. And one of the main incentives for municipalities to participate in the program includes them getting a portion of state matching funds that the county receives. And with those additional funds, a municipality can then preserve more farms within their community. Currently, we do have a farmland ranking list with a backlog of about 40-plus farms, which equates to about 1,300 acres. And we do have some applicants that have been on that application list since the early 2000s, since 2001. And typically through our current program, we can preserve usually the top 5 farms on our official ranking list. But with this new program, we will be able to go out of order to preserve farms lower on our ranking list, as well as preserving, more additional acreage within those participating municipalities. A couple of the big benefits of instituting this program, well, first of all, is to preserve more land within the county. And that is noted as one of our implementation goals in our Bucks County 2040 Comprehensive Plan. And through our current state-county program, we typically average preserving about 250 to 300 acres. So being excited about this, we hope to increase that acreage, in these upcoming years. A second major benefit is that we're able to leverage municipal money allocations and combine them with our county allocation, which is what the resolution is here today. And by doing so, we're able to receive larger state grants and matching funds, to preserve more than 250 to 300 acres per year. And I'm happy to say we do have one township participating this year, which is great. And however, this year we do hope to reach out to other municipalities to get them on board for moving forward with next year. So that is a brief kind of overview of some of the highlights of the new program. And once again, I would like to say to the commissioners, thank you for your continued support in preserving land and farmland within the county.
Thank you, appreciate it. Any other questions, Mr. Ives?
A comment I just wanted to say, for anybody who's new to the county or new to county government, I guess it's been over 30 years that believe it was Commissioner Mike Fitzpatrick at the time, led the referendum that started this. So the voters actually approved this from the very beginning, and that's why it's so, and I guess Commissioner Warren, were you here then too? So you'll be able to speak to how wonderful of a program this has been. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. And the one community that is doing this, Bedminster Township, has set aside some of their own funds. Previously, the funding for this was all county and state. And so another reason, in addition to sort of adding funds, is quite frankly, believing that if your community, your township, your borough is going to be preserving land, you should have some skin in the game, quite frankly, to put some money forward. So it's not just county money coming from all over the county, focused on just farms in certain communities. No, but thank you, Mr. Rice, appreciate it. All right, so with the consent agenda, we have minutes from the January 6th reorganization meeting, minutes from the January 8th regular meeting, and items 1 through 19 C on our agenda. If there are no comments or questions about the minutes, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, under regular agenda, couple of budget adjustments. Mr. Buscola?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. For your consideration today, there are 7 budget adjustments for the calendar year 2024. As Finance and the Controller work to close out the fiscal year, there will be a number of budget adjustments to true up those departments that are in deficit to cover the additional expenditures for the year. So 29 is for Board of Elections, 30 is for tax claim, 31 for general services, 32 is for police training. And the ones that have revenue listed, we're able to recognize additional revenue to cover their additional expenses. 33 is for the Bucks County Transport pass-through grants. 34 is for workforce and economic development. 35 is for emergency communications. It amounts to an adjustment to the general fund of just short of $1.3 million. And of note, it's required to pass budget adjustments to cover those departments that are in deficit. This doesn't recognize all those departments that are in surplus, and we're forecasting that in prior years, the departments that are in surplus will outnumber the departments that are in deficit, and will finish the calendar year 2024 in the black.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Buscola?
Nope.
No? Appreciate all the work, trying to, going back over all the bills. Obviously, we can't finish 2024, expenditures on December 31st, 2024, because bills obviously come in after that were incurred before 2024, or before the new year. So appreciate all the work and all the department heads and everybody else, all the finance people. So is there a motion to approve the budget adjustments numbers 29 through 35?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, personnel actions, commissioners list. If there are no comments or questions, is there a motion to approve the commissioners list?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Board appointments, C1, Mr. Ken Hayes. This is a new appointment finishing the term of Mr. John Cordisco to the County Redevelopment Authority. This term will end 7/17/2028. Is there a motion for Mr. Hayes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Mr. Hayes is actually here, and I asked if he could just, say something briefly. We do invite people as they're being appointed. If they'd like to come, they can come to meetings, but, not necessary. Mr. Hayes?
Good morning, everyone, and I just wanted to stop by to thank the commissioners for the appointment. As you know, as a supervisor in Warminster Township, we do have one of the largest redevelopment projects in the county right now, and I'm looking forward to serving everyone in Bucks County on the board. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, other civics. We have a $1,500 contribution to Animal Lifeline, $1,500 contribution to the Bucks County Community College Veterans Club, $2,500 contribution to Historic Fallsington. Is there a motion to make those contributions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chief Operating Officer support, Ms. McKevitt?
Thank you, Commissioner. What I would like to do, if it's okay with you, is I'd yield my time to Diane Rosati, Director of the Drug and Alcohol Department for the county, to talk about a community survey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. The Bucks County Drug and Alcohol Commission is the single county authority, or the SCA, the lead drug and alcohol agency for Bucks County. There's an SCA in every county in Pennsylvania. One of our roles is to oversee the county's prevention and treatment and recovery support programs. Our largest funder is governmental, of course, is the Pennsylvania Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs, or DDAP. We have an acronym for everything. And so every few years, DDAP mandates that we ask the community their perspective on prevention services for Bucks County, or for each county. I am delighted to be here today with Mallory Parati, who is our fantastic prevention supervisor. Mallory oversees all of the prevention programs that we fund in Bucks County, which are numerous and impactful and very important. And as fantastic as Mallory is, and all of our staff, we know that we don't know all of the needs in the community. So today, I'm often here thanking you for your support, which I do every day, but today we're here to ask for some help from the community, from our county leadership, and from all residents. So I want to turn this over just for a moment to Mallory to talk with you a bit about the survey project that we're about to unravel. And with the county's support, we'll be able to ask for your opinions on what prevention services might be needed and perspectives on prevention related to drug and alcohol. So I'll turn it over to Mallory.
Thank you, and thank you for letting us talk a few minutes about the survey. So as Diane mentioned, we're in the process right now of going through a prevention needs and resource assessment. Again, this is something that is mandated by the Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs. So as part of this process, and it's a long process, we're in phase 2 right now, which is really gathering more information from the community, both youth and adults, here in Bucks County. We are very fortunate to have the PA Youth Survey. It is something that we are able to use for a lot of our youth data with close to 20,000 survey responses here in Bucks County. So we're looking at the most recent data from the 2023 survey, and we've identified some of the higher risk factors here in Bucks County. And so now we are in the process of putting out surveys for both youth and adults to kind of ask some more questions to address those risk factors. So questions like, what are some of the biggest issues facing young people today? How can young people be more invested in school? So questions like that. We're hoping to incentivize survey responses by offering a $10 gift card. We do hope that that will get some young people and adults here in Bucks County to participate. But really to create an effective prevention plan, we need to address youth substance use, we need to really look at targeting those underlying risk and protective factors, and we hope that these surveys will help us get more information from youth and adults here in Bucks County. So thank you.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Parati or Ms. Rosati? No? Just real quickly, the survey you mentioned, the youth survey, is the one that's done through the schools, right? The 13 school districts, or is that different?
The PA Youth Survey is done through the districts.
Okay.
It's taken in districts, and then this is a separate survey.
Okay.
Just using that data to help us kind of form some additional questions.
All right, because I do remember a couple years ago, there was one school district that decided they were not going to participate in that. Have they changed back? Are they back on the wagon with us?
We're hopeful that we'll have 100% participation in 2025.
All right.
We've historically had great participation here in the county.
Yeah, it's certainly something that's hugely important. So I think all three commissioners would agree, if there are roadblocks you're seeing in the process of gathering this data, please let us know so we can help.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
The survey will be available on the Bucks County Drug and Alcohol Commission website. It will also be available on the county website. We have an extensive email list, and we know that you all do too, including residents. So we will make sure that we get that information out to folks in the coming weeks. Folks have until, I believe, May 1st to respond, but the sooner the better, because we have a lot of data gathering and evaluation to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Ms. McKevitt?
That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Fitzpatrick, Solicitor's Report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just one item to report. The commissioners held their standing executive session yesterday, January 21st, with staff and legal counsel present to discuss personnel matters, pending and prospective litigation, and to receive confidential legal advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner comments, Mr. DiGirolamo?
No comments for today.
Okay. Commissioner Marseglia?
No comments.
Okay. Just two comments. There's obviously, well, a couple of comments actually, just with the incredible cold we've seen over the past couple of days. I think it's supposed to break tomorrow. I think maybe it's supposed to get up to sort of normal January temperatures, but just be mindful of neighbors and friends, making sure that there's some people that might have some kind of heating issue in their home and they don't want to bother anybody, they don't want to say anything to anybody. Just especially those who might be elderly, just make sure that you're looking out for them. We did have, as you may have seen in the news back last month, a tragedy in Salisbury Township where a person passed away due to carbon monoxide poisoning. So just be very mindful that, now that we are sort of, everyone's sort of got their windows closed and doors closed for good reasons, and there's all different ways of heating your home. Make sure if you have a carbon monoxide detector, make sure it's functioning. If you don't have one and you have, some kind of open flame in a heat, whether it's a water heater or some kind of, regular heating system for your home, or, gas stoves, things like that. Make sure that you have a functioning carbon monoxide detector. Contact your local fire department, your fire marshal of your community, and they can probably help you out with that. And lastly, just want to make a little sort of a programming note, I guess you could say. So the meetings earlier this month, with I think the January 6th reorganization meeting in particular, we had quite a few glitches with the broadcasting out over Facebook. This is not the first time this has happened in terms of you putting these meetings out over Facebook. Quite frankly, we've been on Facebook sending out meetings pretty much since the pandemic because it was really the only way we could do it. One of our IT professionals, Mr. Laughlin, was actually kind of standing in front of us with a tripod camera back when we first started 5 years ago. It was pretty primitive, but we have obviously a much better system now. We have a website that has been updated and that actually has the capabilities to broadcast our meetings and do so, in fact, we do it already, and do so with a lot of certainty that it's going to work. We don't have to sort of rely on an outside entity. And so this will be the last meeting that will be broadcast on the Facebook page. We will continue broadcasting meetings as we have done, but it'll just be on the website. And so you can visit the website and you can see the meetings just like you do now without sort of the glitches that we've been suffering over the past, since we started really. It's worked most of the time, but it needs to work more often. So. And, it is a Facebook page that, or is a website that we've spent quite a lot of resources in updating for the people of this county to use to gain access to information and services. So, it makes sense to use it. All right? With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.